gentlemen and female gentlemen, welcome one and all to the downfall of an arse. That is correct. This is the downfall of an arse we are witnessing out of the frying pan into the other frying pan that is an even higher temperature. So, not just is Mr. Beast in all forms of hot water, but Mr. Paul is also in all forms of hot water. Everyone is suing Logan Paul. Apparently his prime drink, which in my opinion tastes like slightly flavored piss, is catching all sorts of lawsuits. So Legal, biggest lawyer on YouTube, is breaking down the Logan Paul lawsuit. And I'm glad someone's doing it that's reputable in this niche, because I personally don't know the full legal ramifications of what's going on, but Logan Paul is literally, man has finally gotten karma catch up to him. And now, as you know, chaotic neutral force on the internet, I will sit here and patiently wait. I will watch with the memory of a turtle elephant, and I will simply wait for the downfall of the downfall of assholes, because the downfall will happen. Karma is, as they say, a bitch, and you're gonna get brother.
Everyone is suing Logan Paul.
Yeah, woo! You had my attention, and now you have my erection.
Which is weird, because he seemed like he took legal obligations so seriously.
That was sarcasm, guys.
I had to rely on my team. I crumbled internally.
But things aren't looking great for Logan Paul or his Prime energy drink company.
Oh, really? Is there a downfall happening? Oh God, I love downfalls so much. Especially when it happens to like really bad people.
Dramatically declining sales are only the tip of the iceberg and have caused him to be sued by not just the US Olympic Committee, but also the...
He's getting sued by the Olympics! Oh, what a wonderful day! What a wonderful day! We freaking take those. See, this is why the Nux way is the good way. You're gonna get all cut up. Oh, where, I'm upset. Someone call the ambulance. Let's all cry that Logan Paul is getting away with it. Guys, just sit back and subscribe to Lord Nuxanor, because the downfall for the assholes will come. Grab the popcorn, watch the chaos. Oh, the Olympics are suing this man. That's beautiful.
The manufacturer of the drink.
Nice.
As many YouTubers have found out, your fans can propel you to huge success on the streaming service, but selling products away from YouTube is about much more than a hungry fan base. And if you don't cross your legal T's and dot your legal I's, you could be in a lot of hot water. And
Sorry. I'm a little too giddy. I don't like Logan Paul. And not just because he blocked me on Twitter. I think that's funny.
That's where Logan Paul finds himself today, thanks to 2 lawsuits that may sink his popular beverage brand. The US Olympic Committee is suing Paul for trademark infringement, and Prime's manufacturer said that Paul breached their contract when sales of the drinks started to tank.
Ooh.
So today we'll be breaking down those.
Wait, so are you telling me not only are they getting a lawsuit for being bullshit scammer shits, allegedly, but also they're not even selling as much product as they promised people? So you're saying they're a failure on all fronts? Bro, this is just an ass-eat-ass world. I'm loving this.
2 lawsuits. Now, Logan Paul has a knack for making quick money, scamming people, and getting punched in the face. And
bro, he's not even saying allegedly. He didn't even say he's a lawyer.
our last video about Paul covered his bonus defamation lawsuit against CoffeeZilla. Now, fighting this lawsuit is costly, and you can check out CoffeeZilla's video on how you can help. But the current dust-up is about Paul's beverage line, Prime, which launched with influencer KSI back in 2022.
We made a better-for-you drink.
Better for you. I hate that marketing practice. It's so scummy. It's like, guys, today we're making ethical chocolate. Turns out the Feastables is done by slave labor, apparently. Guys, today we're doing an ethical, healthy chocolate brand. And proceeds to make it less healthy.
That tastes better.
Yeah. Prime.
Yeah, sure. Let me explain something to you. There is only one way to properly measure taste. I know everyone says taste is subjective and you can't measure taste. They're wrong. There is one way to measure taste. It's a little number on the back of the bag called calories. Okay? This is how you measure fucking taste. All right? Better for you, better tasting is a lie. Okay, get out of here.
Prime currently has 2 offerings, Prime Hydration, which doesn't have caffeine, and Prime Energy, which does. A 12-ounce bottle of Prime Energy has about 200 milligrams of caffeine, which is the equivalent of about 6 cans of Coke. Now, demand for both products was initially through the roof. People lined up at dawn to get the new flavors, bottles were sold out on eBay for thousands of dollars, and people literally fought each other to get their hands on the orange mango flavor.
It's wild. It's fucking insane that it was such a big phenomenon.
And of course, both Logan Paul and KSI have been involved in various controversies over the years, from problematic content on YouTube to highly publicized personal feuds. These controversies have spilled over into their business ventures, including lawsuits and inquiries by several US states and many more European countries. Basically, wherever Prime's beverages have appeared, they've also been the target of the law.
It's insane how many different countries have Prime. It's wild how big Prime got, how quickly, and it's so nice to see this massive downfall. Did you see a 1 can of 6 cans of Coke? Yes, but in caffeine content.
For example, Canadian and New Zealand regulators ban Prime Energy because it exceeds their regulatory limits for.
They literally said, we're selling this because it's healthier, and they banned it because it had it's exceeded regulations. Oh my God.
Caffeine. But in the US, there is no legal limit for the amount of caffeine the companies.
America! I like freedom. I drink caffeine. I eat steroids, and I fuck eagles. I am so American. I am literally breathing air and shitting bullets.
Can put into their energy drinks. And thank goodness for that.
Yes!
America.
America!
We discussed high caffeine levels.
Heck yeah, America!
In the video that we did on Panera Bread's Charged Lemonade. And when the same concerns were raised about Prime, Senator Chuck Schumer asked the FDA to investigate Prime Energy. And in April, consumers.
And then Chuck Schumer turned to the camera and said, "My vagina." If you get that reference, you're a real one.
Filed a class action lawsuit accusing Prime of mislabeling the amount of caffeine in each drink. Though Prime says its energy drink has a warning label that it is not recommended for children under 18 and that it contains.
That's great. A warning label on a random company website forum saying not to give it to children when it is being promoted by child entertainers. Like this is why this is all so fucking bullshit. Like, it's so obviously transparent.
Comparable level of caffeine to other competitors. Now, obviously, if you're getting sued by the notoriously litigious U.S. Olympic Committee, you want a good lawyer. But if you want a great lawyer, my law firm, the Eagle Team.
Oh my God, he has to stop plugging his own law firm, bro.
Facing 2 additional lawsuits that show how sloppy Prime is at business.
All right,
in a complaint filed on July 29th in Federal District Court of Colorado, the U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, or USOPC, sued Prime for the unlawful use of Olympic trademarks. They got
sued for copyright. They got sued for violations. They got pulled off the shelf for breaking the caffeine health codes of Canada and New Zealand. They get sued for all this shit. They get sued for fucking copyright. For copyright. Oh my God.
The complaint alleges that Prime, quote, in a deliberate and willful attempt to trade on the USOPC intellectual property, used Olympic-related terminology and trademarks in marketing its products on internet advertising and in promotions for a Prime hydration flavor featuring Kevin Durant. The infringed trademarks include Olympic, Olympian, Team USA, and Going for Gold. Now, I first heard about this lawsuit from Legal Bites, who made a video explaining why Prime was in legal trouble. This lawsuit came out when there was a lot going on in the world, and I was focused on other things. But
True. But Logan Paul is so lucky that he is getting sued while Mr. Beast is under fire and while Trump is fighting for with Kamala Harris to win the presidential election. Like, the world is literally burning, and Logan Paul has just somehow managed to become irrelevant enough that people don't give a fuck about him enough.
you should really check out the video. She does a good job of explaining US.
And that's why I'm here! Literally here to give fucks where people don't need a fuck. I fuck sometimes where you don't deserve to be fucked in the way that I am about to fuck. That is a real sentence. I'm going to be putting it on merch. Definitely subscribe.
Trademark law, including why an official Team USA merchandise licensee has significant value to brands. As you probably know, a trademark can be any word, phrase, symbol, design, or combination of the.
Fuck, I hate copyright law so much. I literally hate copyright law so much. Like, it's such a necessary evil.
These things that identifies goods or services. The purpose of U.S. trademark law is to allow consumers to easily identify producers of goods and services and avoid confusion. And because of that, a trademark can last indefinitely so long as the user is using it in commerce, unlike copyright or patent law, which eventually expires. Now, with respect.
All right, so trademark law does have differences than copyright law. Interesting. I didn't know that. I thought trademark law would also probably expire. All right, cool. This is why we get the fucking legal guys out here to slap their dicks on the table and make fun of Logan Paul. I am just here for the making fun of Logan Paul. If you want to see just the legal breakdown, dry fucking legal jargon, go to Legal Eagle. If you want to see someone put their dick in Logan Paul's mouth, go to KSI.
To the Olympic Games, for decades, brands have known that when consumers see a product with the words Team USA or the image of a popular athlete, they are more willing to buy it. And so if a company wants in on the U.S. Olympic glory, it has to become a licensee of the USOPC. And the USOPC gets to decide who can use those trademarks and where they appear. So for example, if you see a Wheaties box featuring Katie Ledecky or Simone Biles with the words Go for the Gold, that's because Wheaties paid for a license. And lots of companies work with the USOPC, such as Coca-Cola, Polo, Eli Lilly, Cisco, Warner Brothers, Delta, Fanatics, and Visa. And of course,
yeah, believe it or not, when someone recently made a thumbnail extension on YouTube that adds my like reaction face to thumbnails to every thumbnail on the YouTube homepage, I'll have you know that's fucking based, and I will not be suing anyone because that is awesome.
Of course, Prime is not on that list because it never negotiated a license. However, the label on the bottle of Prime's Kevin Durant-themed hydration drink features Durant's name emblazoned above a curiously patriotic-looking Prime logo. The bottle also talks up Durant as the 3x Olympic gold medalist and counting.
Yeah, Durant is known for being a 3-time Olympic gold medalist and also a Pokemon with a 4x weakness to fire.
The text says when KD steps on the court, he's going for gold. And the complete features lots of ads that Prime Hydration placed on social media and on its official website, as well as advertisements on various social media platforms and physical printouts for stores selling the drink. For example, quote, Prime Hydration provided ad copy to stores selling the infringing project that prominently used the Olympic marks, using the word Olympic 6 times in ad copy, including 2 uses of Kevin Durant Olympic Prime drink. Celebrate greatness with the Kevin Durant Olympic Prime drink, Olympic achievements, Kevin Durant Olympic legacy, and other uses.
What were they thinking? Did they really think that that the Olympics wouldn't take notice to this? This is like, okay, a lot of you probably don't remember this. There was a whole controversy a while back. XQC live streamed the Olympics, and the Olympics obviously took down the stream for copyright purposes because he was watching the Olympics with 100,000 live viewers. Like, under some agencies, that counts as rebroadcasting, not just piracy, which is so much worse. And then XQC said he wanted to sue the Olympics for that. Like, the internet's so fucking fun. This is why reality is better than fiction sometimes.
Now, I found this to be fascinating because not only does the USOPC have the rights to the trademark by right of trademark law, but they actually got it written into law. 36 U.S. Code 220506 grants the U.S. Olympic Committee exclusive rights to the name, seals, emblems, badges, all of that associated with the Olympics.
Bro, it's actually over. It's actually over. Like, what the fuck is Mr. Paul supposed to do here? Bro got so cooked. He got so cooked.
Including the name, the United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee, and the symbol of the International Olympic Committee, as well as related words and phrases including Olympics, Olympiad, and Paralympic. And the law says that the Olympic Committee can bring a civil lawsuit under the Trademark Act of 1946 against a person who, without the committee's consent, uses the Olympics-related symbols, emblems, and words mentioned earlier for the purpose of trade to induce the sale of any goods or services.
Holy shit, Logan is so fucked. It's so glorious to see. See, the irony is, Mr. Paul could go through any of the most insane controversies on the internet, and that doesn't matter, right? All the allegations of him murdering his pets and shit like that, the scams, the suicide forest thing, all that stuff in the world. Like, what did that really do to him? Nothing. But the Olympics could fuck him over. Like, this could fucking put him in the ground, bro. It's actually crazy. Bro used the symbol of 5 circles and said the word Olympic, and that's gonna fuck him. When scams and desecrating Japan and allegedly killing his pets, that shit, you could get away from that scot-free, baby, scot-free.
Or to promote any theatrical exhibition, athletic performance, or competition. Now, the law does include some exceptions from civil suit, mostly to do with place names and regions with variants of Olympic in the name, such as Olympia, Washington, but unfortunately for Prime, they aren't one of the exceptions. And the second claim for relief is a regular trademark infringement claim under the Lanham Act. The complaint alleges that Prime's use of the Olympic trademarks is likely to cause confusion, mistake, or deception about the source of its products, thus infringing on the USOPC's trademark rights. And in the US courts evaluate a claim for trademark infringement primarily by analyzing whether there is a likelihood of confusion between the plaintiffs' and defendants' marks. And most courts use some combination of the factors set forth in the case of Polaroid versus Polarat Electrics. These include the strength of the senior user's mark, the similarity of the two marks, the similarity of the products or services, the junior user's intent in adopting the mark.
That's it. I think that's the biggest one. There is no way that Logan Paul using Olympic shit in his Prime drink is not actually supposed to be referencing the actual Olympics. Especially when he sells it as a sports drink. Like, there's no fucking way that anyone legitimately would believe that this is a coincidence. Like, this is huge. Like, this is so huge.
And the sophistication of the buyers. And of course, we'll also consider evidence of actual confusion by consumers. And another issue is whether there's similarity of the goods. And here the USOPC is right that its mark is frequently used on similar goods. Powerade is the official sports drink of Team USA, and Prime is its direct competitor.
True! Oh my god, I didn't even think of that! Let me make something clear. When it comes to copyright law or trademark law or whatever, you could violate it and nothing will happen to you. I'll give you a great example, okay? If you go on fucking eBay and you look up anime merch, all right? You could buy a hoodie with a picture of Naruto on it, sold by Joe Schmo in the middle of nowhere, and you could definitely get away with that. Now, that guy is technically violating copyright by the fact that, you know, he's selling merch of Naruto. What a lot of people don't know, and this is a fact, by the way, fan art, technically, if you use the fan art, let's say, on your Patreon, to plug your Patreon, or to sell merch of fan art of a character, you are technically violating copyright. Now, no one's going to come after you for it because, you know, you're promoting them, you're not actually impacting them that much, you're just some random idiot on the internet doing your thing, so probably no one's going to come after you. Technically, you are violating copyright. The reason why I mention this, and why I think it's important to note, is because not only is Prime using the Olympics to promote itself, but it is a direct competitor to the drink of the Olympics. The Olympics have every fucking reason in the world to want to fuck over Logan Paul. And Logan literally just gave them the smoking gun.
USOPC sent a cease and desist letter on July 10th, but it alleges that Prime continued to ship products and use the marks on social media. The company continued to feature both the bottle and copy
Oh my god, they have the Durant thing
on LinkedIn, making it look like it deliberately wanted to use the goodwill associated with Team USA to promote its own products and brand. There's a third claim for unfair competition and false designation of origin in violation of 15 U.S.C. 1125, and there's a fourth claim for trademark dilution. Now that's interesting because dilution occurs when a third party uses a mark or trade name in commerce that is sufficiently similar to a famous mark such that it harms consumer perception of the famous mark. The complaint says that, quote, the USOPC has used the famous Olympic trademark in interstate commerce since at least as early as 1896, which is prior to the use by defendants.
Yeah, by about, you know, a good 120 years.
It notes that, quote, the Olympic marks have been used in commerce by the USOPC for decades, and billions of viewers around the globe are expected to tune into the games this summer.
Hilariously enough, the Olympics was a dumpster fire, and it's not like I like the Olympics or support the Olympics per se or any of that garbage. However, I support Logan Paul less, so I... This is why chaotic neutral is the best. This is why you gotta fucking adopt the Nux mentality.
Prime Hydration's use will dilute the distinctive quality of the famous Olympic marks under Section 43 of the Lanham Act and injure the USOPC. And the courts have given the USOPC even stronger protection for its trademarks than it would have under a normal trademark claim under the Lanham Act. In San Francisco Arts and Athletic Inc. versus United States Olympic Committee, the Supreme Court barred the San Francisco Arts and Athletics Company from using the words Olympic in its gay Olympic Games. The court held that the committee had the exclusive rights to the word Olympic under the Amateur Sports Act of 1978 and could prohibit its use without needing to prove trademark infringement or consumer confusion, which you would normally need to do under a trademark.
Now, the beauty is, the reason why this is so hilarious is because they have all the ability to go after whoever they want. And now that they have all of this power, they could be petty as fuck. Let me make something clear. If I decided to sell merch with the Olympic symbols on it, I will probably be completely fine. Technically, yes, the Olympics could sue me, but the Olympics don't give a fuck. The only reason why the Olympics are suing Logan Paul is because Logan Paul is A, a direct competitor, B, they don't like him for whatever reason, and C, they have all the power in the world to enforce this shit. I don't know why Logan is such an idiot that he thought he really couldn't... Like, how on earth did he think he could get away with this? This is insane. This is like the Pokemon ROM hacks that keep getting taken down the second they actually put some sort of pricing on it.
Action. The court ruled that this exclusive right was constitutional and did not violate the First Amendment because the committee's use of the words served a legitimate purpose and its protection did not unfairly restrict free speech. And courts interpret 36 U.S.C. 380 broadly. It gives the committee the sole power to use the International Olympic Committee. It gives the committee the sole power to use the International Olympic logo consisting of 5 interlocking rings. For example, in USOC versus Interlicense Corp., the committee sued a marketing firm for publishing pictograms using the Olympic rings mark.
Logan, you are such a fucking idiot! Logan's so dumb. It's so impressive. He's impressively stupid. He's impressively stupid, guys. Guys, he's impressively dumb. Like, I am impressed by the level of stupidity.
Quote, the pictograms at issue are graphic designs of athletes participating in various summer and winter Olympics.
There are previous cases where the Olympics sued people for copying their flow, and Logan copied their flow as a competitor! What did he think was gonna happen? It's mind-boggling how dumb this man is. Everyone says that, oh, Logan Paul is actually a genius. I don't know if he's actually a genius. I don't think bro's gonna worm his way out of this one. Like, it's crazy. In the first time in all of Logan Paul's dramas, he is not the bigger fish. Every other YouTube drama he's ever been in, Logan Paul has been the big guy. Now he's just a fucking little pathetic tadpole.
Sports, against a backdrop that explicitly incorporates the Olympic symbol, consists...
What do you mean competitor? Oh, I'll tell you. Logan Paul selling Prime, an energy drink that's a competitor to Powerade, which is the official drink of the Olympics.
Of 5 interlocking rings. The International Olympic Committee had given the firm permission to use the rings, but the Second Circuit Court of Appeals said that that was not enough. Interlicense needed the USOPC's permission to use the rings in the United States. And some argue that the USOPC takes this protection to the extreme. For example, in 2005, the committee threatened to sue the Improv Olympic Theater if it did not change its name. The Improv Olympic Theater helped launch the careers of Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, and Bob Odenkirk, among others.
Oh!
And the group had been using...
Speaking of Bob Odenkirk, my homie... Logan, you need Saul Goodman right now, bro. You are getting so fucked. Dude, karma is actually literally coming up and fucking him in the ass.
The name for 20 years, but it changed its name to IO to avoid the lawsuit. But Logan Paul might have some exceptions. There is an exception to US trademark law known as nominative fair use that may help Prime. Nominative fair use permits the use of another's mark to refer to the trademark owner's goods and services associated with that mark.
Okay.
This is permissible as long as the use is necessary to identify the product or service.
Yeah, that doesn't fly here, right? There's a bit. Let me give you an example. If you are an anime company and it's like, do you like anime like Naruto, One Piece, or Bleach? Technically, you're not violating the copyrights of Naruto, One Piece, or Bleach. You are referring to those trademarks because you're promoting a service that is associated with the trademark. That's not what they're doing. They're literally using Olympic logos and people and stuff like that to promote their own thing for their own thing. This is not for association. There's no way this is a defense.
The use is limited to what is needed to make the identification clear,
Yeah.
and the use suggests that the trademark owner endorses or is affiliated with the user. The nominative fair use doctrine was created in a case that involved the New Kids on the Block versus 2 newspapers that ran polls gauging the band's popularity. The court ruled that the use of the band's name did not violate the trademark because it was necessary to identify the band and did not suggest sponsorship. So hypothetically, Coca-Cola could say it's better than Pepsi, even though Pepsi is trademarked, because there's really no...
Fantastic example. Yeah, that's why he's the lawyer. I'm the fucking weeb. I use Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. But yes, you could say that your product is better than another product without violating that product's guidelines, right? Obviously, you're not violating their guidelines. You're using them to prove a point about your product. And that's not what that's not what Logan's doing. Logan is using the Olympics to promote his product.
No other way to identify the product other than calling it Pepsi. For example, in Playboy Enterprises versus Wells, the Ninth Circuit ruled that
I did not think that that's where we were going. Logan Paul lawsuit. As a reference, porn.
Terry Wells' use of the term Playboy and Playmate on her website was nominative fair use because it accurately described her former status and did not imply Playboy's sponsorship or endorsement.
True. Again, fantastic example, right? Saying that I worked at Playboy is just a qualification metric. It's not a sponsorship. Putting the Olympic logo on your Prime looks like you're working with the Olympics, therefore giving you more credibility. God, it's so fun. It's so fun. This is so fun.
The court held that Wells was allowed to mention the name Playboy and use the related terms like Playmate of the Year or PMOY, but she couldn't use Playboy's most distinctive mark, the Playboy Bunny. So you can see how that might apply here. First, we look at whether the trademark is necessary to identify the product or service. And in fact, this often comes up when you're talking about the Super Bowl. And for various reasons, people have come up with some very creative ways of describing the Super Bowl. But for example, the Pittsburgh Steelers have won 6 Super Bowls. If you wanted to describe this level of success, you couldn't really get your point across without saying the phrase Super Bowl, even though that's trademarked. It would be strange to say the Steelers won 6 really big games.
Fair enough. See, but that's the thing. The trademark law is not meant to take specific words out of the public language, right? If I say, hey, did you watch this new anime? It's called Naruto. I'm obviously not violating Naruto's trademark by doing that. These words, despite being trademarked, are not necessarily inherently illegal to utter. If I do a stream and I say this stream is sponsored by Naruto, that is violating the trademark law and is probably enforceable.
The second factor is whether you're using as much of the trademark as necessary. So in that context, the phrase Super Bowl, which is a trademark, is probably okay, but your use of the Super Bowl logos, that's probably a step too far. So similarly, Prime is probably free to say that Durant won 3 gold medals, but the company probably can't use the Olympic rings.
Yeah, that's another example. When I say Jaden Animations and I It's technically not violating copyright when I say Jaden Animations and I are both talking about our last 10 years on YouTube. Classic example of not violating of copyright whatsoever. Now, if I did a stream saying Jaden Animations and I play Pokemon, and Jaden Animations is literally not even there, that's possibly violating some sort of copyright. Holy shit, that would be such a good way to annoy the Twitter people. I just need to do Jaden and I react to Logan Paul drama, just a little PNG of Jaden Animations on the side.
And the third factor is that you can't create the impression that you're affiliated or endorsed by the user. And that's where the USOPC has gotten very aggressive, and they will police any suggestion that a company or person is formally affiliated with the US Olympic team because it's trying to protect the value of the sponsorship that it sells. But here the Wells decision might actually help Prime argue that it had a right with Durant's permission to describe him as an Olympic champion and a gold medal winner. If you take a look at the bottle, it doesn't seem to use the font favored by the USPC, and Durant isn't featured on the bottle wearing his Team USA uniform, and there's no other indications that the Olympic Committee is partnering with Prime.
Interesting. That is a good argument as well. You could say, I'm just referring to the guy, not the Olympics. When in actuality, it probably is to reference the idea that they are related to the Olympics, but you can at least make the argument that maybe it's not.
And so the USOPC is seeking all the profits associated with the sale of Prime, which the committee claims is in the millions of dollars. It also wants damages for harm imposed on its sponsorship agreements with its licensees. But Prime has yet to respond to the lawsuit, possibly because it's busy fighting another major lawsuit, which is about the lack of success of Prime.
Yeah! This one's even better. Oh, God, bro. YouTuber getting screwed for copyright shenanigans. All right, whatever. YouTuber massive empire fails due to lack of people's interest in the company. Oh, it just gets better and better. This is Mr. Beast Burger all over again. These people just... They think it's merch, but you can't actually have a successful merch business because you want to sell this to people that aren't directly your fans. So you actually need to make a good product. And they didn't, in my opinion. Oh, the double penetration is glorious. Holy shit, Logan Paul getting spit roasted. One in the ass, one in the mouth.
It's really getting whipsawed here. In November of 2023, Bloomberg concluded that Prime was on track to make over $1.2 billion in sales. Prime and its branding company Congo were bullish on the company's future. With supply outstripping demand, the company looked for a manufacturer that could handle the large orders. So they turned to Refresco, a beverage manufacturer that produces products for various brands and retailers.
Right.
And in 2022 and early 2023, Refresco acted as the bottler for Prime, but only on a spot basis, meaning that they would only accept irregular orders on demand. However, this arrangement was costly because it required Refresco to purchase from third parties unfilled bottles that had been fabricated for Prime's unique design and trade dress, including the shape and size, because specialized molds and related equipment are needed to fabricate those bottles. And in early 2023, Prime wanted to lower its production costs by eliminating the deals with third-party bottle suppliers. So Refresco allegedly informed Prime that a production line in its Truesdale, Missouri factory had become available. And to produce its products, Refresco would need to refit a dedicated line with new equipment, including some that would be custom-made to accommodate defendants' bottles.
All right.
According to Refresco,
Failing to see the issue here.
in the normal course of business, customers pay for or finance the cost of ordering all that equipment, but Prime and Congo were not willing to reimburse Refresco for the dedicated line. Allegedly, since Refresco would be unable to use that line for any other customer, the company asked Prime to minimize its risk by agreeing to minimum orders for 3 years.
I get that. All right, so basically, in the layman's terms, I guess, they moved their Prime manufacturing over to Refresco. Refresco needed to make specific bottles to carry the Primes. They made tons of bottles, and Prime decided to move away and no longer has necessarily use for all these millions of bottles of plastic shit that Refresco actually made. So they made a deal with Refresco to sell a minimum volume of Prime for the next 3 years through Refresco. And apparently, they are fucking it up and not selling as much Prime as they expected. And not only are they getting dicked down because they're not, making as much money as they thought, but also they're not even making the minimum commitment of 55 million cases to Refresco. Oh, God, that's gotta sting, Logan Paul. Oh, God, maybe your loyalist supporters would have bought more Prime. You wouldn't have scammed them out of their money with CryptoZoo. Allegedly.
Prime allegedly agreed to order a minimum of 18.5 million cases, or 222 million bottles, for a total of 55.5 million cases cumulatively over the 3 years. And apparently there was also a take it or pay it arrangement. Quote, if defendants did not purchase and take delivery of at least 90% of the agreed annual volume commitment for each of the 3 contract years, defendants would be obligated to pay Refresco a fixed shortfall amount for each 12-bottle case below the volume commitment that defendants did not purchase. The parties called this contract the Truesdale Agreement. And since demand was so high at the time, Prime told Refresco that they anticipated needing, quote, spot contracts for production from other Refresco facilities from time to time. So the parties also worked toward a master supply agreement, or MSA, to
It's crazy to see that they even have a modicum of success, because Prime tastes so bad. Like, I really don't like Prime. Like, it just tastes like shit.
Facilitate future spot contracts for Prime products in other Refresco facilities. So the Truesdale Agreement was signed on April 3rd, 2023, and Refresco immediately ordered customized equipment from third-party manufacturers in Europe. The agreement contained a provisional deadline for starting production on the dedicated line, and the last line says that the provisional deadline could be changed as agreed by the parties. And Refresco alleges that on June 12, 2023, the parties changed the deadline for the dedicated line. The changes were apparently discussed in a phone call and then memorialized on a spreadsheet, which said, quote, the dedicated line in Truesdale would be ready for startup in March-April 2024. The revised date was necessary because the European manufacturer of the equipment needed more time. So in this exchange, you can see how business relationships can gradually break down. Refresco says an email attachment contained a new date for commencement of the dedicated line, but Prime did not respond with a clear message that it agreed to the new deadline. Refresco continued to make plans for the dedicated line, but Prime seemingly did not object. And the agreement obligated the parties to keep working on the MSA, which was supposed to be done by October 1st, 2023, but Prime didn't give feedback on the MSA until the deadline passed.
Yes, I've tried to fit my penis in my own asshole, and unfortunately, I'm running into all sorts of different issues.
And by the spring of 2024, the dedicated line was just about ready for production, but when Refresco told the defendants that they needed to know Prime's orders for April and May, the Prime defendants said that they would have an estimate by the end of the day, quote, but they did not provide the requested forecast.
Dude, classic YouTuber, they never get back to you. It's like, okay guys, we made a deal for millions of dollars over the next 3 years. Can we please get a response? And then they just never respond. Classic YouTuber discussions, literally ghosting shit every time.
Cast that day or ever. And after 3 weeks of silence, Prime's manager of external manufacturing told Refresco that, quote, the decision was made to not move forward with the incubation or flavor qualification at Truesdale. That is a roundabout way of saying that the deal is dead. Sorry, not sorry about the new dedicated line. Now, Refresco says that the reason Prime canceled the deal is because it realized that a slowdown in sales of their Prime hydration products likely was not just seasonal, that those sales, which had slowed in early winter, were not picking up as spring approached, as defendants had expected.
Turns out, they were not getting as many repeat customers as they thought. They thought that people would like the drink and buy more of it. But nope, turns out it was really just a fad, and it tastes like poop, shit, cement water. I've tasted it. Cement water is a very accurate descriptor. I have tasted Prime, and it's not good, in my opinion. I don't know what everyone's smoking, saying that it's decent. It's not decent. It does not taste as good as generic flavor water brand whatever shit. Like, it doesn't taste good. It doesn't taste good, in my opinion. Let's say you want to buy Prime because you want to try it, or you want to buy Prime because it's new, or want to buy Prime because you like Logan Paul. That does not create a repeat customer, and I think a lot of people don't recognize this in the industry. I think Mr. Beast is in the same issue with Feastables. He'll keep promoting it and promoting it and promoting it. I think Feastables probably has the most expensive marketing campaign of any chocolate ever in the history of the world. The fact that he plugs it in videos with hundreds of millions of views. And the idea that it's not absolutely destroying other companies is because, quite frankly, it's just not as good. And therefore, people aren't buying it. I really think that that's the reason. They think that they could just star power marketing their way to just sell everything and make a successful company that lasts for a while, when ultimately they can only create a fad if the product is shit. A shit product will never, ever be a long-lasting, even though it has all the star power and advertising behind it, because, you know, I bought Prime one time, and I will never buy Prime again, because it's not good, you know? And I don't like Logan Paul, and I still bought a Prime. I'm sure there are so many people that were like, I don't like Logan Paul, but I am going to try a Prime because it's a new drink, and who knows, and I want an opinion on it. How many more people were like that? I'm sure there were millions of people like that bought a Prime and never bought a second one.
Prime claimed that the Truesdale agreement expired on its own terms because the parties couldn't come to terms on the master supply agreement. That would be a fairly weak explanation, since the main reason for the business
Scammer champion.
relationship was to get a dedicated line that would allow Refresco to fill massive orders. The more likely scenario is that Prime decided not to perform on its obligations because sales of Prime dramatically slowed down. So Refresco sued for breach of contract, promissory estoppel, and equitable estoppel. Refresco argues that the Truesdale agreement was binding on the parties as of April 3rd, 2023, and that it fully performed on its obligations under the contract. And Refresco says it sustained damages in the amount of $67 million. Now, the $67 million damages request is pretty interesting because now yet a third company claims that Prime can't pay its bills.
Yeah, this is they are getting really mega fucked here. All the advertising in the universe, and they cannot keep a company afloat that's already made billions.
Agrovana is a Massachusetts-based importer, which says it has provided over $70 million, surprisingly close to the $67 million, worth of ingredients to Prime since 2020. Agrovana says it has a contract with Prime for more than $32 million of product for the first half of 2024, but Prime stopped paying its bills and eventually refused to accept deliveries.
Bankruptcy pog, let's go. Dude, guys. This is so fucking funny. It's like karma actually does catch up to people. I don't believe karma is necessarily some spiritual force that necessarily drags people down. I do think karma is, you know, the result of your own actions. Oh my, the consequences of what you've done. You produce a shitty product and people don't want to buy your shitty product? What? You're a shitty person and people don't trust you? Nani? You try to get away with all sorts of shitty scams and shit and eventually it blows up in your face? What? Like, guys, this is either divine sense of humor or just complete and utter hubris. And either way, it's funny as fuck.
But Prime contends that the products were defective. In the complaint, Agrovana alleges that Prime failed to pay for products and used, quote, deceptive acts and practices to avoid paying for products it had ordered in binding purchase agreements. And in a story you've probably heard before, the company blames Prime's, quote, inability to sell their product at the rate they projected for the alleged breach of contract. So don't be surprised if Logan Paul tries to flee the country. And if he does, he'll definitely need a good data plan to upload his videos while he's on the lam, which he can do with today's sponsor, Saley.
All right. Well, that is a sponsor. But yeah, so anyway, definitely subscribe and leave a like for more chaos. I will be here. I'll be here to laugh at the idiots as they continue to fall and fuck themselves brutally hard. Everyone is suing Logan Paul. Thank you, Legal Eagle, for the breakdown. The trademark shit, the inability to sell shit. This has all been incredibly funny and good content. This is, ladies and gentlemen, classic reality television. I have to say, I am immensely enjoying the downfall of assholes, which is why you subscribe for more karmic retribution. We will continue to be chaotic forces of fuckery on the internet. Say weird, fam. If you made it to the end, click one of these two videos, which also will definitely get me canceled. See you live on Kick. Say weird, fam.